Imagine a bishop, a man of profound learning and ecclesiastical prominence, who chooses to lock himself away, not in a prison, but in a small, solitary cell for nearly 3 decades. This is the paradox of Saint Theophan the Recluse, whose self-imposed isolation at the Visha hermitage did not diminish his influence, but amplified it, transforming him into one of Russia's most prolific and beloved spiritual guides. His reclusion was not an escape from the world, but a deeper engagement with its spiritual needs, a beacon of light radiating from a hidden chamber, guiding countless souls towards Christ. Born George Govov in 1815 in the quiet village of Chernivtsk in the Oryol province of Russia, Saint Theophan's spiritual journey began rooted deeply in the Orthodox faith. His father, a village priest, nurtured a devout home, instilling in young George a love for God and a thirst for spiritual knowledge from an early age. This pious environment, coupled with his innate intelligence and contemplative nature, set him on a path distinct from his peers. The foundations of his later profound spiritual insights were laid in these humble beginnings, within the embrace of a priestly family dedicated to Christ. George excelled in his theological studies, first at Tambov Theological Seminary and later at the prestigious Kiev Theological Academy. It was there, amidst the ancient spiritual currents of Kiev, that his heart was truly awakened to the monastic path. He devoured the writings of the Church Fathers, especially drawn to the wisdom of the Philokalia, a collection of texts on hesychastic prayer and spiritual vigilance. This immersion in sacred texts confirmed his conviction: a life dedicated wholly to God, free from worldly distractions, was his true calling. He chose to surrender a promising academic career for the silent pursuit of holiness. In 1841, George made his solemn vows, receiving the monastic tonsure at the revered Kiev Pechersk Lavra. He was given the new name Theophan, meaning manifestation of God. Though his heart yearned for the quietude of deep prayer, his talents were immediately recognized by the church hierarchy. He was swiftly appointed to various teaching and administrative roles in seminaries across Russia. Each appointment, from rector of Olonets Seminary to his time at the St. Petersburg Theological Academy, was met with humble obedience, even as his soul yearned for an even more profound intimacy with God. He was destined for a different path than simply academic excellence. Throughout his early ecclesiastical career, Theophan never wavered from his personal ascetic disciplines. Despite the demands of administrative work and teaching, he maintained a strict regimen of prayer, fasting, and spiritual study. He understood that true service emanates from a sanctified heart. His humility was striking. Though rapidly ascending the ranks, he never sought personal glory. Instead, he consistently directed his focus inward, striving to cultivate inner stillness amidst external responsibilities. This balancing act of profound outer service and intense inner struggle would define his early years, shaping the wise elder he would become. One particularly transformative period came when Theophan served as head of the Russian ecclesiastical mission in Jerusalem. Living amidst the holy sites, he experienced a deepening of his spiritual life, but also faced intense internal trials. The unique spiritual atmosphere, combined with the pressures of his office, became a crucible. He grappled with spiritual warfare, doubt, and the persistent pull of worldly concerns even in such a holy place. These struggles were not weaknesses, but opportunities for growth, pushing him further into reliance on God. It was in Jerusalem that his soul's longing for profound spiritual solitude intensified, solidifying his desire for a life wholly dedicated to God in stillness. Despite his intellectual brilliance and rapid ascent, becoming Bishop of Tambov and later Vladimir, Saint Theophan's heart yearned increasingly for unadulterated solitude. In 1866, with extraordinary humility, he resigned from his episcopal see, retreating to the quiet Visha hermitage. He sought not to escape duty, but to embrace a high calling, the contemplative life of a recluse. His decision was radical, especially for a bishop, yet it was driven by an unquenchable desire for God. He eventually sealed himself in his cell for 28 years, dedicating his life to intense prayer, the Jesus Prayer, and spiritual writing, transforming his cell into a spiritual beacon for all of Russia. Though physically isolated, Saint Theophan was never truly alone. His cell became a spiritual lighthouse, drawing thousands through correspondence. People from all walks of life, peasants, nobles, monastics, academics, sought his wisdom, sending letters filled with questions about faith, spiritual struggles, and practical advice. From his secluded chamber, he poured forth a torrent of spiritual guidance, offering profound insights, clarity, and immense comfort. While he performed no dramatic physical miracles in the traditional sense, his miraculous gift lay in his ability to penetrate the human heart, guide souls, and illuminate the path to salvation through his countless letters and writings, emanating a palpable spiritual peace. Saint Theophan's reclusion did not diminish his role as a spiritual father, it redefined it. He became a spiritual director to a hidden community. His disciples spread across the vast Russian Empire, connected not by physical proximity but by the profound wisdom contained in his letters. He patiently explained the nuances of the spiritual life, the practice of the Jesus Prayer, the cultivation of inner stillness, and the struggle against passions. His teachings were always practical, compassionate, and deeply rooted in the patristic tradition, making complex spiritual concepts accessible to ordinary people. Through him, the ancient wisdom of the Desert Fathers found new life in the hearts of 19th-century Russians. As the years of his reclusion deepened, especially during his final decade, Saint Theophan's outward activity diminished further, but his inner life intensified. He ceased receiving visitors entirely, dedicating himself almost exclusively to prayer and his monumental literary work. He meticulously translated and commented on the Philokalia, wrote extensive commentaries on scripture, and composed numerous theological treatises, all from the quiet confines of his cell. He lived in constant preparation for his departure, embracing the detachment of a true ascetic. His final labors were not those of an aging man, but of a soul ripening for eternity, completing his earthly mission with serene dedication. Saint Theophan the Recluse fell asleep in the Lord on January 6, 1894, a date profoundly significant, for it was the feast of Theophany, the manifestation of God. It was a fitting repose for a saint whose very name, Theophan, means manifestation of God, and whose life was a ceaseless quest for divine illumination. His death was peaceful, a serene passage from earthly reclusion to heavenly communion, marked by the quiet dignity that had characterized his entire spiritual journey. Those who were present recounted a palpable sense of peace and holiness that filled his cell, a testament to the grace he had cultivated throughout his life. While Saint Theophan was not known for dramatic post-mortem physical miracles in the way some saints are, his spiritual legacy continued to grow exponentially after his repose. The impact of his voluminous writings became even more widely recognized and cherished, reaching an ever broader audience. In 1988, as the Russian Orthodox Church marked its millennium, Saint Theophan the Recluse was formally glorified, or canonized, among the host of Russian saints. His holy relics were uncovered at Vesha Hermitage, found to be incorrupt, and translated, a testament to his sanctity and a source of veneration for the faithful. His quiet life continues to inspire millions. Saint Theophan's influence extends far beyond Russia. His translations of the Philokalia made this profound collection of spiritual wisdom accessible to a wider Slavonic-speaking world, revitalizing the practice of hesychasm and the Jesus Prayer. His original works, such as The Path to Salvation and What is Spiritual Life, have become foundational texts for Orthodox Christians seeking to cultivate an authentic inner spiritual life. He meticulously explains the mechanics of prayer, the nature of the human soul, and the practical steps to overcome passions and unite with God. His teaching remains a powerful, timeless guide for anyone embarking on the path of inner purification and divine communion. What can Saint Theophan the Recluse teach us today in a world saturated with noise and distraction? His life demonstrates that true spiritual guidance, and indeed true freedom, often comes from turning inward, from finding our own cell, a place of quietude and prayer, whether it's a physical space or a state of heart. He shows us that engagement with God is not confined to grand gestures, but thrives in daily, disciplined communion. In our chaotic lives, we are called to emulate his spiritual courage, to intentionally carve out moments for silence, for the Jesus prayer, and for the study of holy writings. For it is in such holy introspection that we truly encounter Christ, becoming, like Theophan, a manifestation of God's light in the world.